We're here with
Roger Minton.
All right, from?
Born and raised, well, not born, but raised in Marion, Illinois. That's when I started jiu-jitsu. Started jiu-jitsu about 20 years ago now.
What's your belt rank?
I'm right now a purple belt under Robert Drysdale and Elias Zapata.
Career record?
Crap, I don't know. I've only got 4 losses in tournaments right now.
Yeah.
And the wins,
how long undefeated in Nogi and IBJJF?
I went 3 years undefeated in Nogi and IBJJF, and I'm undefeated in catch wrestling.
What kind of achievements throughout your career?
Oh, multi-time ultra heavy and open class IBJJF Nogi champion, ADCC Denver Open champion, 3-time MMA amateur champion.
So what was it that got you into jiu-jitsu?
Grew up a wrestling. Dad was a wrestling coach. I was on wrestling mats before I could walk, and found jiu-jitsu while I was in the United States military.
So I was like a combatives course or something.
Started with combatives, yeah, and then there was a gym in downtown Clarksville that a guy named John Rankin owned, and Elio Sinetka Marara, the IBJJF former world champion, was the jiu-jitsu instructor there.
So you feel like is that kind of what you focused on most of the time, even with your MMA and stuff, is jiu-jitsu? Or?
Yeah, because jiu-jitsu and wrestling, it kind of mixes together, you know, and there was techniques we used in wrestling that matched jiu-jitsu, so gravitate towards it.
What's your most memorable fight or match, win and loss?
Most memorable loss was the finals at the ADCC Open in Chicago against Gabriel Real, who's a top 20 IBJJF black belt. I learned a lot of lessons in that match and some things that I had to work on. Most memorable win was a catch wrestling bout in Denver, because I literally, at one point, we fell out of the ring ropes in the match onto a concrete floor and then got up and started and finished the match. But I had told everybody that day, like, hey, make sure those ropes are tight. I don't want somebody to fall through the ropes, and my big butt is what fell through the ropes.
If there's any advice that you've got in the beginning of your career, or techniques that you still carry with you today?
Advice is it takes time. I had a lot of good coaches over the years, very high level fighters and jiu-jitsu competitors. There's time and forget the losses. A lot of guys will walk around and talk about them, and it's like you've carried around like a bag of rocks. So you've got to let it go and just keep going forward, and then just time. If you're not getting something, just give it time. You'll figure it out. You'll learn it.
So what, do you have any competitions on the horizon, or what's coming up in the future?
Future, I am going to IBJJF Nogi Worlds this December, and then hopefully going out to CatchCon in February for a big catch wrestling seminar and tournament.
So what motivates you to do jiu-jitsu?
I think jiu-jitsu is one of the single greatest things you can do that will affect every aspect of your life. Like, if you stick with jiu-jitsu and train it and kind of deal with the hardships of it, it will bleed into all the other aspects of your life. You'll be a better worker at your work. You'll be a better person in your community. You'll be a better person in relationships. You'll be a better father. The discipline, the work, the time, it will bleed into every other aspect of your life.
You got a wife?
Oh my God. I got a wife. I got 7 kids.
7 kids, family man. What do you do for a living?
And a grandfather. I got a grandbaby.
Family man.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
This is it. I grapple. Retired military. So I'm hooked on that white whale.
What's the rumor about working a shift on the docks ending at 3 a.m. or whatever it was, and then going and taking home the gold?
That's not a rumor. I had a shift working docks at FedEx, and we had work that morning, and we got there at 3 a.m. So we unloaded everything. I then got in the car, drove up to St. Louis, and then took gold in my weight class, and then I took silver. Yeah, silver in the open class. But the guy I lost to, I think, is like he's number. I think he's like the number 1 or 2 super heavyweight right now in our division. And I'm the number 3 ultra heavy, so he's good. I'll see him again at Worlds in the open class.
That's awesome. That's a cool story. I like that. No, because that's what, I mean, as you already know, because you're in our circle, but that's what Midwest Fighters is about, man. It's to have grit, go hard, just nose down to the grindstone, bust into it, no excuses, just doing what it is to do, you know, in life and in the sport. So
I actually said that to Elias just the other day. I said something about back to practice, back to the grindstone, Worlds in 4 weeks.
There you go. That's what it's about. Well, you're a good representation of the brand, man. Thank you for receiving us, allowing us to sponsor you in the ways we have, and looking forward to future engagements with you, man.
It's my pleasure.
Career.
I'm ready.
I'm glad you're in our life, and I'm glad this interview's happening and your knowledge can be shared to others, man.
Love it.
Appreciate you much. Respect. Give us a
Appreciate
slap
you
in the bump.